Now let me just start slowly from what we left from last week. Okay, let me see. Okay, so I've opened my Omeji. I've seen some of the assignments. Okay, right. So let's. Can you see my screen? Yeah, you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I think you have noticed that I'm not going through the slides, each and every one of the slides. So I'm expecting you to actually listen to my lecture, which I've given last year. Okay. So the format is, I think you're starting to notice that it is always trying to get you engaged. Okay, so trying to get you engaged and learn at the same time. So this is part 2 of supply chain management. So I suggest that you also switch on your slides as I go along. Okay, because it's good to have your slides because I will always refer to the slides as well. Okay. So what we have done last week, I've already explain the strategic importance of supply chain management. We have tried to identify the sourcing strategies, including Keiretsu and so on, and also explain the risks and mitigation tactics, as well as what are the issues for integrated supply chain. So you need to integrate your supply chain. So that's what we have done last week. And this week, we are going to cover the rest of the important things in supply chain management. The first one is describe the steps in supplier selection. So all companies will be involved in doing some supplier selection and also basically supplier management. Okay, supplier management. Number one. Secondly, logistics. Major issues, you should be able to explain major issues in logistics management. Okay. And finally, measure supply chain performance. All supply chain you need to monitor and you need to see their performance, okay, their level of performance. Okay. So these 3 things we're going to do today. Now, so you can see slide 37. That's why I said there, see slide 37. So building the supplier base. So there are 4 steps, 4 major steps involved in building the supplier base, or they call it steps in supplier selection process. But to me, it's more like selection as well as the development and the maintenance of good suppliers. Okay. Now, just for common understanding, suppliers are also known as vendors. Suppliers are also known as vendors. Okay. And they must be selected and managed. You must select the best suppliers in order for you to be able to, meet your organizational competitive advantage. Low cost, then you need to actually make sure the suppliers be able to deliver what are the things that is important for, if we are striving for low cost. So what kind of suppliers do you actually want? Any ideas? I've given you some tips here, okay? So which of these is probably important for you to keep your costs down? There are many factors, okay? Yule, what is the important criteria for the supplier to have when you talk about low cost? Think about it. I'm buying from you, for example, I'm an automotive manufacturer. I'm buying car seats from you. You're supplying me car seats. So I'm a low cost, trying to sell at a lower price. So what kind of supplier criteria needed? If I want to select you, what should you be providing to me?
Nice price.
Nice price, cheap price, not nice price, cheap price. Cheap, yeah, but quality. Okay, so quality performance is there, but the price is cheaper from the other suppliers. So you have 4 or 5 competitor suppliers. So you want to, be able to meet my pricing strategy. Okay, so there are many factors that is important, and of course it depends on the organizational strategies as well. So you can see here numerous factors. Supplier fit with the philosophy. For example, Toyota requires that you have Toyota production system, TPS. Understand? Okay, we will talk about TPS later, lean. So if you cannot follow the Toyota way of doing things, you cannot become a Toyota supplier, because they will drive costs down. Okay, so you have to have supplier competence, delivery capability, and also, of course, it's a given. Quality is must today. Of course, the selection is challenging. So how do you actually select suppliers? How do you select suppliers? And of course, depend on the company's policies, whether you are going for single sourcing, like what we discussed last week. Do you want to have many suppliers, or do you want to have one supplier? Okay, so there will be, giving different policies. Okay, so companies have their own procurement policies. So what is the first stage process called? What is the first stage in supplier selection? What's the first stage? If you have read the book, you probably know what is the first stage. What is it called? The first thing that is involved in supplier selection is
supplier evaluation.
Yes, supplier evaluation. Supplier evaluation. What is the meaning of evaluation?
The book says it involves finding potential suppliers and determining.
Okay, exactly. Yeah, finding. But when we say evaluate, can you explain to me what is evaluate? Yu Hong.
Is to finding potential suppliers. And
when you evaluate, we evaluate. If I want to evaluate, I have 4 candidates. So I need to have a certain kind of, you want to find the potential suppliers. You're right, and it's a long-term partnership. So what are the criteria to evaluate suppliers? So when we evaluate, we need to have criteria. Okay, can you name me a few criteria? Can you give me, a criteria that is used to evaluate potential suppliers? Fangi.
Capacity. Like the suppliers needs to have enough capacity to handle
yes,
the company's
exactly.
performance.
Yes, one is their capacity, the capability to deliver in terms of quantity. What else? What else? What are the criteria that can be used to look at? Yes, Ho?
The location.
Yes, location also can be used as a criteria to evaluate suppliers. The further the supplier, the costlier the transportation costs, for example. Okay. So there's a host of criteria depending on the companies, again, the policies and also their competitive advantage, their strategies. So you can develop this criteria. Okay. So in fact, your case study that is given in OMG talks about the criteria that is used to evaluate suppliers. You read that, you read the case study carefully, because you can see a lot of criteria that is being used to assess quality requirements, for example, a quality system by the company. Okay. Another important, okay, other than operational quality, another criteria, what do you think an important criteria that Yule mentioned just now? So you select suppliers, just now you say based on price, right? So pricing is also a criteria, But more important than pricing is, do you want to buy from a supplier who has very weak financial standing? Why not? You Hong? You don't want to buy from them. Why not?
Because it means unstable and risk.
Unstable and risk.
High risk we may take.
Yeah, financially, because if the company is financially weak, they may not have the cash to even buy raw materials.
Yes.
Okay, so these are, you have to look from the financial perspective, from their operational perspective, their capacity and capability. Okay, the capacity. But today, we have a lot of tools that is available for us to evaluate suppliers. There's many methods to evaluate. Can you give me one method that is used to evaluate suppliers? Can you name me this method we studied in the first semester, which is used in location decision? Okay, you find out. Okay, you go and find out what method can be used to evaluate suppliers. Okay, under factor, what do you call analytical methods. Okay, but there are methods to evaluate suppliers. In fact, the case study that I given you uses that method. Okay, uses the method to actually evaluate suppliers. Okay, another important thing. Sometimes, I think we mentioned about ISO 9000 in last semester. Okay, all these are supply certification. When we say certification, supply certification such as ISO 9000, ISO 14000 is used to pre-qualify suppliers, meaning they are already pre-selected, but of course they have to go the next evaluation. But this is already a good indication of good suppliers. Okay. Right. Any questions about the first stage of? So remember, the first step is supplier evaluation. Okay. Okay. The second stage, I've put there supplier development. Okay. So supplier evaluation and supplier development. How to integrate suppliers in when you already selected the supplier? Now, this is already the second step. You already have the supplier. How do you make sure that this supplier become part of your, business ecosystem? How you integrate them? What do you need to do? Anyone? What do you need to do? Yoki, I never asked you yet. Okay, Yoki, Chen. How to integrate suppliers into the buyer systems, into your own system? The book gives examples of this.
Can build a line between suppliers and the buyers, I think.
Computer?
Build a line between suppliers and the buyers.
What do you mean line?
Line. Can contact suppliers and the buyers.
You mean a communication line?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Communication line between buyer and suppliers. Okay. Probably the supplier needs to know the communication system. Other than that, anything else other than that? So how does the supplier integrate into the system? What does the supplier need to know? When, for example, I want to supply to you these components. For example, I'm supplying to iPhone the microphone. So what is one important thing that the supplier need to be given information? I need to tell the supplier. What are the things that I need to tell the supplier? Other than capacity, capability, what is the most important thing that I need to tell the supplier?
The time.
Okay, the time to what?
The schedule.
The schedule to produce. Okay, scheduling,
Yes.
production schedule, delivery schedule, and the quantity. Yes. Other than that, what are the most important thing? One of the most important things.
Quality requirements.
Exactly, quality requirement. Number one, all suppliers will need to know quality requirements in order to integrate to the buyer system. So for example, I send the parts. When is it going to be inspected? Who is going to be inspected? What to do when there is a reject? You need to send back. So this system must be informed, and also the supplier must understand. Okay, understand. So the quality requirements, the product specification, and so on. Okay. And on top of that, okay, if you see here, supplier development activities include what? For example, if you want to develop suppliers, you need to provide training. Training means supplier must be given knowledge about, inspection procedures, delivery procedures. So some kind of training, and also to develop them. What else? What are the things that supplier needs to be given, basically, in order to develop them? Anyone? The answer is on slide 38. That's why I asked you to open the slide so that you can see the point in which I'm trying to raise. It is actually, what is it? There's three items. The first one is training. The second one is
engineering.
Engineering and production help.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you mean by production help? What do you mean by help?
Like how
Assistance. Assistance. Help.
yes,
Okay.
help, assistant.
Help mean help. Yeah, yeah, help.
Helping help.
Yeah. Okay, so buyer, for example, Toyota. Toyota actually help supplier. What do you mean by help? Means they actually, so these are the three things: training, engineering, production, help. They help by explaining to them how to do things. You know, I have been to supplier and teach the supplier how to interpret the drawing. Look at the drawing and understand the drawing. So help assistance. And also information transfer procedures, like I think Yuki mentioned this just now. Information transfer procedures. How do you actually convey important information? Changes happen frequently. Okay, so the buyer must integrate with the supplier on changes. For example, COVID today. Do you think there's a lot of changes happening because of COVID pandemic? What is happening in COVID today? A lot of stops, a lot of uncertainty. Shipping lines are not moving. So you need to advise your supplier, okay, don't send first, keep first. Okay, we will advise you when to send. So these are important for integration between supplier and buyer, okay, or a manufacturer. Okay. Right, the third thing that is important is negotiations. Sorry, the third step in the supplier selection. So supplier evaluation, supplier development, negotiations. So basically, negotiation is the job of people in purchasing and purchasing department. Purchasing department will be involved in negotiating the especially the price. So it can be cost-based price model. That means supplier present their cost elements, okay, and agreed by the buyer. So supplier opens books, mean they show detail, okay. Secondly is market-based price model. It's based on published auction or index prices based on market price, or competitive bidding, tender, okay, competitive bidding. So you issue, bidding, and companies will actually propose, okay, their prices. So this is common policy for many kind of purchases. But it does not generally foster long-term relationship. It's a very short-term, because sometimes your tender is for 1 year contract, 2 year contract. Now after that you need to find new vendors. Okay, it's not. In quality control or in quality management, Dr. Deming will not agree to competitive bidding. You choose on the base of the cheapest price. No, you should choose based on the highest quality. Okay. Right. So this is negotiations, and then the last step in supplier selection is contracting. Okay. Once you have achieved your negotiation, you need to actually create contracts to share risks, benefits between the suppliers and also the buyers, or everyone in the supply chain. There's a lot of members in the supply chain, from raw material until consumer. Some of the features of contracts include quantity discounts. Quantity discount. Okay, you give discount because of the volume. More you buy, cheaper it is. Including buybacks of unsold units. In grocery, sometimes they sell this retail store, they sell breads which are not sold will be bought back or returned back. Okay, or even other things that have certain due dates, so buybacks, or even revenue sharing. So these are included in the contract. Okay. Some companies also in contracts, this is part of contracting, which is a centralized purchasing. Centralized purchasing by, if it is a very big companies like Nestle or or Toyota, they have decentralized purchasing. And today e-procurement is becoming needed by all companies because it speeds up purchasing and reduce costs, and it will integrate the supply chain. Okay, e-procurement. So basically four steps only. Okay, 4 steps in supplier selection. Right? Any questions? You can read for the rest of the things that actually explain more detail in the book. So what are the 4 stages of supplier selection? What are the, sorry. So I think, let me just, I put it in the, okay. Can you see the question?
Yes.
Can you see the answer? Or the answer are shortened?
Yes.
Can you see the answers? Okay, just you need to move your cursor to each of the choices to see the detail hidden. You can expand it. Okay, just enlarge your screen so that you can see all the what do you call the words. Okay, one response, right answer, the first person, second answer, second right. Okay. If you answer this correctly, 2 rights, 1 wrong. Okay, the last person who chose D was wrong. Okay. Yes, correct. 4th person. Another one. Last person. Okay. So the answer is A actually. Supplier evaluation, supplier development, negotiations, and contracting. Okay. So those who didn't get it right, you should recorrect that. Okay. It is not B, it is not D. Okay. It's okay, don't worry. It's learning. Learning the difficult way and the hard way. Right, any questions? Oh, there is another question. Okay. Okay, there is another question. Okay, there is... What are the 3 classic types of negotiation strategies? Again, okay, yeah, very straightforward. 3 out of 3 got it right. 2 more response needed. What are the 3 classic types of negotiation strategies? So two more person don't want to answer. Okay, all of you, 4 out of 4, 1 out of 5. The answer is D, cost-based price model, market-based price model, and competitive bidding. Okay, so that is the 3 classic types of negotiation strategies. Okay, thank you for your response. Okay, we shall continue. Any questions? Right. So we move on to logistics management, starting from slide 42. So what is logistics? What is a logistics system? Yes. Oh, you're showing your hand. You know, it's like you know, you're swimming and okay. What's logistic? You home. What's logistic system?
It's to obtain efficient operations through the integration of all material acquisition, movement, and the storage activities.
No, that is the purpose. Okay, the purpose. But what is logistics? It's the first sentence in the book. It's the first sentence. It's not the second sentence. Okay. If you can read the first sentence, that is the answer actually. What is logistic system? Oh, what's the logistic system? It is a combination. Okay, it's a combination of what you say just now.
Like shipping.
Shipping, and then warehousing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very
Warehousing
activities.
and transport.
Yes.
So when we say logistics, so the first thing that we say logistics, you must imagine how you're going to actually, how the materials are going to arrive at your factory. So you're buying from someone, materials and components. Is it coming from overseas? You need flight, air freight. We call it air freight. Okay. So when you buy things and after you're completed, you need to sell it and send it to your customers. So what mode of transport do you use? So what is logistics system? It is the combination of shipping, warehousing, transportation. So let's logistics. You know, you go to war. When you go to war, you know war? The army will have a logistics system. Logistics actually come from war terminology. You need to bring your, army. You need to bring your food. You need to bring your. That's logistics. How you move from one place to another place. Okay. So that's why in COVID, the logistics system has been disrupted because there's no air freight and very little so-called shipping. Okay. So procurement, delivery of products require shipping, warehousing, inventory activities. So this is a logistics system. What Yu Hong mentioned is the purpose of logistics. The purpose of logistics management. If I am the logistic manager, I need to integrate and make sure the material that you buy, acquisition, okay, material acquisition and movement and storage is efficient. Okay. For example, Uniqlo, they have their stores in Malaysia. Uniqlo have many stores in Malaysia. Obviously, the thing come from Japan. You know, their clothes and so on, they need a place to store before they send to their, before they distribute. Okay, that's another area. Okay, we talk about distribution management. But anyway, this is logistics management. Many companies, they outsource their logistic function to a logistics specialist. So outsourcing logistics function is also common because they don't want to, have a department or a section. They have a small section, but very little people. So logistics specialists can track delivery using technology, meet schedule, and so on. Okay, and it will achieve their competitive advantage in terms of reduced cost and improve customer service. Right. So all this shipping doesn't mean ship. Okay, shipping system mean how you are going to, send it. Okay. So 25% of cost of goods sold, cost of goods is cost of transportation to and from their facilities. So that's why you need to evaluate the shipping modes or the methods. So what are the 6 common shipping systems? And then we can talk about the common shipping systems. So what are them? What are they? So see slide 43 to 46. Okay, what are they?
They're trucking, railroads, air freight.
Okay, slowly. Number 1, trucking.
Trucking,
Okay,
railroads,
roads. Oh,
Yes. And air freight.
okay, air freight. Air freight.
Freight.
Okay, the pronunciation is air freight. Okay.
Freight. And waterways.
Okay, what do you mean by waterways?
Like waterways, like some using some ship or some
Rivers. Okay, I think in China you
river,
have Yangtze,
like
Yangtze-Kiang, Yellow River. Yangtze-Kiang is that's waterway or canals.
Canals, yes.
Canals. Okay.
Canals.
So what else? This is common. This is the common, mode of shipping, of transporting. Okay. This is not common because have you seen pipelines?
Yes.
Okay.
From the gas pipe.
Yes,
pipeline
exactly.
From Russia.
Exactly, from Russia to China, pipelines.
Europe.
Oil and gas, okay? So pipelines. And, okay, multimodal is actually combining the shipping methods. Okay, we put it there as a multimodal means combine. You understand? Combining trucking, railroads, air freight, and so on. And each of them will have different costs involved. Okay, so companies need to evaluate costs when they use the different modes. Okay, I think the book gives some example. You can refer to it. But these are the common shipping system that the logistic manager have to actually decide or determine based on their strategies, based on their cost, assessment. Okay, what about warehousing? Because we sometimes our product needs to be warehoused. Okay, so often it adds up 8%, 10% of cost of product. So what's the fundamental purpose of warehouse? Just one word. What is the fundamental purpose of warehouse?
is to store goods.
Store goods. Okay, it is for storage. Okay, storage. It is. But does it add value? In value, does it add value to the product? Does it, will it give more, higher value? Yes or no? The answer is yes or no. Does it add more value to the product?
No.
Who says no? Okay, other than who says no? Does it add value? Do you understand the question? My question is this, if I put the television at the warehouse, value means it will become better and it can increase the function, more benefit.
It just add cost, I think.
Yeah, it will just add cost. Exactly. It doesn't add value. It will just add cost to the product. But somehow we probably need to. There are some warehouses which add values. Okay, which add values in the sense of they perform certain things. They form, for example, they serve as consolidation point. So this probably will, it doesn't just add value, but you will actually gather shipment. So it's adding value. Break bulk function, it add values because you're accepting cheaper full truckload shipment and dividing for distribution to individual sites. So there is an activity. If there is an activity that is, helping in adding value, but if we just put it there and just waiting for changing the location, then it doesn't add value. Okay, or even cross-docking, the third point here, cross-docking, accepting shipment from a variety of sources and recombining, putting into a different trucks for distribution. Okay, so this cross-docking, or even postponement point, providing final customer specific value-added processing, which that is adding value. Okay, postponement point to repackage or to do some other activities. Okay, but the fundamental purpose of many warehouses are just for the purpose of storage. Okay, right. So we have what we have. Warehousing. Okay, third-party logistics is also part of logistic management. Okay, initially I said just now is actually so what is 3PL? What is third-party logistics? They provide outsourced logistic process, as mentioned already in the first slide just now, right? Reduce inventory investment, lower delivery costs, and deliver reliability and speed as well, because you are going to outsource your logistics activities. For example, you appoint one company to do that. Okay, just take 5 minutes to Google and tell me one 3PL company in Malaysia or in Japan. So each one of you will tell me either one. If you choose Japan, then Japan. Okay. Right. So the time, okay, let me say I'll give you, okay, I give you 5 minutes. Is that too long? It's enough time, right? Okay, let's put my timer here. Okay, 5 minutes. 5 minutes starts now. Those who have got the answer can just shout out and,
So I find one called Siva. I don't know how to spell.
Are you using computer as well, or you're using handphone? Can you share? Because I've given authority for all you to share.
I'm using my desktop, but hold on, I could log in.
Or you okay? Never mind. Okay, what's the company? You spell it?
CEVA.
CEDA.
Yes, and Logistics Malaysia.
CEDA Logistics.
Yeah. VA. It's not D. It's V.
V.
V. Yeah.
V is Vietnam.
Yeah, it's right. It's correct now. Malaysia.
What does it do?
Operate. It says it operates multiple offices in Malaysia. Freight management of freight.
Okay, you're right. Yeah, Seva Logistics is actually one of logistics, third-party logistics. Okay, 3PL. Okay, so Ho is done. You completed your assignment.
Japan's logistic company, Sagawa.
Sagawa. Oh, Sagawa. Sagawa nani?
Sagawa, only Sagawa です。
Sagawa, 日本は何? Limited か? Limited じゃないか? Okay. はい。So Sagawa is Sagawa, Japan. Sagawa Express Logistics Service from so ka. Hi. I also Google here. Okay, Sagawa. So this name. Oh, you can see my screen, right? Okay, good. So next.
Oh, and Kokusai Express.
Kokusai
Express.
Why Japan they like to put this express? Just now I saw itu Sagawa also they put express, because express can also means logistics. Korea Express moving soka. So express means they also moving. Soka. Freight forwarders. Okay. Right. Kokusai Express Company Limited. Hi. Thank you. Sorry, Yulika. The name.
I found a company. It's a Malaysian company, and it's called Hakchong.
How do you spell that?
HOCK.
HO.
Can you see my screen?
I'm
I'm sharing my screen.
Okay.
It's HC.
Hokchong.
Hakchong.
これ中国よ。Hokchong. 中国の会社よ。Hokchong. Hokchong Logistics か。はい。Leading option for third party logistics. So. Okay. はい。Thank you, Hokchong. もうみんなか。So everyone?ユホンまだか。これユホンか。ごめんね。これユホンか。
Hokchong is Hong Kong pinyin, I think.
Who gave Hokchong? 方言呀。
Yu Hong.
ユホン、ごめんね。Because I cannot see all the faces in my screen here. I only can see 4 faces.
And I found a Japanese company, Hitachi Transport System.
Hitachi Transport System. You want to share the screen or I just Google here? Hitachi Transport System. So, Hitachi transport system. Koreka. Towards new dimension logistics. Fang Yi, this one?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So it's a big business actually. It's a very big business of logistics solutions all over the world. And especially today, if you think about it, because of COVID, because of Corona, we need to, design and create new logistics, system that will attract buyers. Okay, for example, promising delivery, because we are now constrained by many things, limited shipping systems, shortage of components, shortage, microchips, shortage all over the world. Okay, good. So at least you have you can find all the 3PL logistics providers that is being operating all over the world, okay, so you can find out more, and you can actually look at what they do. And this doesn't mean that, for example, FedEx, Federal Express, DHL, the big people, they are also the 3PL also, okay? They also provide these logistics services to, for example, air freight. If they need to supply the material as fast as possible to US. For example, Intel, there is a company, there is operations in Malaysia, Intel, there's a factory in Malaysia. So if they want to deliver some of the semi-processed parts, they can actually air freight it, okay? Right, distribution management. Okay. So I'm just going probably just pass this through. Distribution management is focusing on outbound flow of product. That means you're now going to distribute to your, especially retails, or or even consumer products. Okay, so you need to design distribution network to meet customer expectations. Rapid response, product choice, and service. Okay. So there are methods of analyzing the number of facilities in distribution network using 3 different cost categories: facilities cost, inventory cost, and transportation. I'm not going to go detail on this. It's just an idea of you need to also consider about cost of distribution. Okay. Added together with your logistics costs. Okay. I thought I wanted to show you a video, but I don't have time. I will give you the link for you to view the video. It's about Apple's supply chain. Now, when you talk about purchasing, dealing with suppliers, one of the most difficult aspects that companies must always consider is ethics. And it is very difficult. Okay, it's a very difficult issue, but it must be addressed. It must be taken care of. So it is critical to long-term success of an organization. Supply chains particularly are very susceptible. Susceptible means prone to unethical behaviors. For example, salespeople become friends to suppliers. When you become too close to your suppliers, then there is a tendency that, okay, this product is okay, you can deliver. So there'll be some, ethical issues. So the principles and conduct of practice has been established by the Institute for Supply Chain. You can view this the slides 53 to 58 to look at some of the issues in terms of the principles and the code of conduct. And of course, there are also ethics within the supply chain, standards that apply across all players and vendors. How do you make sure that there are no dumping of price? There is no there's a lot of issues, okay, or even safety issues in less developed countries. The Americans, they will buy from there's double standards. I don't know, China or big economies, they have double standards. Double standards. It's okay for them to buy from companies which are not protecting safety or child labor, but for us, small country, you cannot. So that's issues, and there are issues related to that. And also ethical behavior regarding environment. How do you support conservation and renewal of resources? Okay. So this is a big issue, okay? Big issue and very difficult, very difficult. So put yourself in that condition and try, but you need to be honest to yourself, okay? You must be honest to yourself. Another thing is how to sustain, how to establish sustainability. What do you mean by sustainability? Today is a very, common buzzword. Buzzword? Buzzword means the word of the day. Everybody talks about sustainability. Okay. What is sustainability?
They make production not just for now, but they
yes. Whatever you consume, whatever you make, you must think about your future generation. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
It must be sustainable. Financial sustainability, environmental sustainability, social sustainability. United Nations, they have this SDG, Sustainable Development Goals, SDG. Okay, so you can Google that. But in terms of supply chain, how do we, they call it reverse logistics. There is about I don't know how much used computers and used handphones that is burying in the landfills. That is very environmentally damaging and also unsustainable. So we buy things and we use it and we burn it or we bury. Bury, bury? You put it under the ground, okay? Landfills. How much do we actually practice so-called reverse logistics? Reverse logistics is actually, you are going to have methods and ways of reuse, repair, and so on, remanufacture. Or you send back to the manufacturer end of life. End of life means the product has already been used. For example, cars, 20 years, 25 years, it's already dead. So the manufacturer will have to buy back. In UK, United Kingdom, you have to sell back to the manufacturer. That's why today, manufacturing, we talk about design for remanufacturing. Design so that it is reusable, okay, or recyclable. It's not, the concept of sustainability is actually built into design today, okay? But in terms of supply chain, how do we create this? We need reverse logistics. We need to have, how do you, for example, cooking oil. Do you recycle cooking oil? How do you recycle cooking oil? Now, how do you recycle cooking oil? First of all, can we recycle cooking oil? Okay, Yu Hong, you cook a lot. Okay, you use a cooking oil. How do you reverse logistics in terms of recycle, for example?
Recycle the cooking oil.
So you have a cooking oil. You have never seen this before. You can actually send it to the recycling center, your used cooking oil. Or some companies, they buy back. For example, they buy back in Malaysia. We have, it's not it's not 100%, but I believe is almost like 10%, 20% of recycled oil are being recycled and produced into different kind of oil for second life. Okay, you try to Google. Okay, you try to Google. I tell you something. You try to Google circular economy. Okay, if you have time, you try to Google this concept called circular economy. It is trying to make sure that, for example, you use, because every product has one life. But can we have the second life? Can we, produce it and make it? So that's circular economy. So you don't throw everything away, but you reuse, you repair, you resell, you make it another value. Okay. Now plastics today, they produce t-shirts, plastics, they recycle and cut them. Okay, it's a big issue, it's a very big topic, sustainability. If you're interested in doing research in sustainability, you can do a lot of research in sustainability. It's very good potential area for research or become expert in sustainability. Another concept is called closed loop supply chain. Well, this is similar to here. Okay, circular economy is actually closed loop supply chain. So it's a proactive design of a supply chain that tries to optimize all forward and reverse flows. And you prepare returns prior to product introduction. Okay, you look at slide number 60. There is a forward and reverse flows of activities required. Okay, so that's how to establish sustainability in supply chain. Okay, so because okay, I'm good in my time today. Okay, let me just poll you and the last question before we take our break. So I want you to just think about this. Take your time. Take your time. Read carefully. In supply chain management, ethical issues are what? Take your time. Once you finish this question, we can have our tea break. So the first person answered, got it right. Yes, very good. So whoever you are, you should clap yourself. The second person also got it right. Yes, wonderful. And the fourth person, the third person also got it right. Okay, nice. I'm left with one more person to give. Every one of you deserve a break. Yes, all of you deserve a break because all of you answered correctly. Okay, nice. Okay, so take a 5-minute break, then come back. Then we'll talk about measuring the performance, which is a bit quite many things to talk about. Okay, so take 5-minute coffee time. All of you got the right answer. Okay. 休憩します。